What's going on, gearheads? Welcome back to the garage. It's Saturday. We got a little weekend project for you. We got my neighbor's Trans Am back in the garage. Well, it's a project car, so this thing's probably gonna be back in the garage a handful of times here helping him out. But pretty sure it's got a rusted out fuel tank. He's got some fuel issues, so he got a new tank ordered. It came in, so we're gonna go ahead and swap the fuel tank out. So let's go ahead and dive in and check that out. So here is the new tank. This was stamped in Taiwan, I believe. Looks pretty good. It's all capped off. We're gonna get that up under the car. First, we're gonna drain the fuel tank. We got a vacuum extractor here. Put it into the jerry jug. I think there should just be a couple gallons, so we'll get started with that. Filter sock or something on it.
There we go.
Wow. All right, take a look in the tank. Yeah, it's all rusted.
It's like garbage, isn't it?
Yep. All rusted. There you go.
But fuel in it where it's
Yeah, so here's the old sender. Very rusted, but the fuel lines we're having an issue with because they're routed differently than the way the new sender is, so we're trying to get that kind of sorted out right now. And then also this, I believe, vent line here is routed around and then comes to like a little loop seal and then comes back out the passenger side. And this on the new tank, it's just basically cut right here, so I think we're gonna have to cut this but put a little jumper hose and connect it here so we retain the loop seal and the hard piping. And here is the new sender. So these are both going to come out on the passenger side, and the fuel supply line from the car, the chassis, is on the driver's side, so we'll have to run a line across here to meet up. So a little bit of retrofitting here to get this to work. It's not quite plug and play. All right, here's what we got figured out so far. This is the vent line they gave us, and this is the old one. I just laid this up here. We pulled this out of the tank. So we're just gonna cut that there, cut this here, put a small jumper hose across the two hose clamps, and then that will restore the factory connection. And the only thing we can't really change is they put the fuel supply passenger side. So we got this hose here, and we cut the old line. We're gonna basically wrap that around to bring that back to the driver's side. So that should fit up nice there. We'll lay it all on the track and zip tie it up clean, so it should look nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did. There are some factory clips that I think will slip in the tab. And then we also got this roofing tape to make a little buffer between the chassis and the tank so that it doesn't rub. And this is doubled up. And here's the label, roof deck seam tape. So it's kind of like a foam sticky tape, and it's got a gray top to it, so it looks nice with the tank. So we're just doing a little painting on the line. All right. And we'll give you some tips under here too for when you're going to drop the tank. A couple things we learned while we were doing it. Let me grab this light. So you do have 2 lines, passenger side, that will have to get disconnected. And then you also have 1 line, driver side, that you'll get disconnected. And those are pretty accessible. The belly bands or the tank clamps here, you'll have 2 bolts, one up over here in the corner, one up over in here, and that's going to take a 9/16 socket. You'll loosen those, pull those out. And you also have 2 bolts back here. These are almost like sheet metal screws, 10 mil head. I don't think you have to pull those out though, because I think we just lost it. Because the tank clamps actually stay in position. I couldn't get these hooked out, and they fold down enough to slip the tank out, so they'll kind of look like this once you get it down, and that makes it easy enough. The tank is also pretty light, and you do have to kind of walk it down at an angle to clear the gooseneck out of the fill neck out of that tunnel there. So we kind of set up that hydraulic lift table thinking like, oh, we'll lift the car off and the tank will sit there, but the cart kind of just more got in the way than helped us, so wouldn't really recommend doing that way. Just have one person kind of guide the tank down. It's light enough and easy enough to maneuver doing it by hand. So the table cart was just a little excessive and ended up getting in the way anyway. And it's working on a little aluminum paint on the lines just to clean everything up, so when it goes back in, it's all prepped and painted. And here's the old tank. We'll see in the daylight if we could get a better, oh yeah, look at all that in there. I think you can see that pretty clear. Tank is totally rusted out. Right up there is your little sender ground, so we're just doing a little wire brush in there. Make sure we got a good connection. Alright, so we did a little kind of paint and primer up here just to kind of clean things up before we put the tank up. Looks pretty good. He also did aluminum coating on the tank bands here, and I think we got all the lines fit up pretty well. So we got this cut back here, a little tubing jumper, some clamps. I think this is 5/16, 3/8 and quarter, so you have 3 different line sizes you're dealing with here. And we got this put back over to the other side, so that'll connect up our return, supply, the vent, and we got the this back over here, and then our supply rerouted to the driver's side, so that should fit up okay. And we're gonna be ready to put this back up. We got our ground strap already ran out, and I think I forgot to mention before, this is where the sender hot is going to be, so that's just like a clip-on. I'll show you that real quick. That's this guy here we just tucked up there. right, so after a bit of wrestling, we finally got the tank up there. Not quite an OEM fit, I'd say. Definitely the aftermarket, like $150 tank didn't fit very well. We had to kind of manipulate the straps here, work these to get it kind of stretched enough to get the bolts caught and just started. I mean, it tucks up pretty good. It looks okay from the back, but it just really, we had to wrestle with this thing to get it up in there and get the straps and the bolts caught. So that wasn't very fun. And then, you know, having to manipulate the hose lines and stuff, because that really didn't match up quite factory, but we got everything up in there. We also had to extend the ground a little bit. So the sender unit didn't come with a long enough ground strap. And then I'll show you when we lower it down, the filler neck is kind of like stuck towards the back. It's not quite centered in that little cutout area, so it makes it difficult to get the gas cap on. All right, she's back up and running. I think we're gonna end up doing plugs, wires, and ignition module on this. It sounds like it's got a little bit of a mist to it, but we're back up and running with the new tank.